the trash bag, coming off his much-desired victory against Clay Holbrook. Man, there's a few days in my life that are, there's not many days in my life that brought such joy as yesterday. Beating Clay and his camp brought me great joy. I want to trade with everyone, but if I'm not able to trade, then I develop a disdain toward that person. It's an unhealthy disdain, nonetheless, albeit bygones be bygones. It is a disdain that I cannot shake. And here we are with that. So, it's the trash bag again, sitting atop you peasants, you bottom feeders, you sick, twisted terrorists. You're all so easy. You're all so easy. Y'all know what today holds. We're going to go over high man. We're going to go over low man. Number of phones hold you. We're going to go over some matchups from last week. We're going to go over this week. The pathetic team performances of the week. That's where I really that's where I really get things moving then. But yeah, it was a fun week. I mean, it's shocking. Like last week, the bottom feeders were just bottom feeding. This week, I mean, the Calder is continuing to bottom feed, but the Garys of the world, Galt scored 152 and lost. How? He lost. Now, granted, he had it coming, and I appreciate the efforts. Galt's team has lost 2 weeks in a row when it really shouldn't have happened, but here we are. The Alexes of the world is going to continue to bottom feed, but Gary's, the Zach's not a bottom feeder, but he was able to win. Cheese. I think it's high time we start mentioning Cheese and Calder in the same sentence instead of just belittling Cheese and kicking him while he's down. Man, I don't think they're just not that different, you know. Neither are really that good. And I mean, they have the same records, similar points against. I'll get to that in a minute, but man, I mean, both. I've had more talented diarrhea. You know, I don't know what you want me to say. They're just not that good. Had Calder maybe, you know, made some moves with me, maybe he would have beat the Cheese. Lack of Delta against Cheese. Thank you, T. Higgins, for what you do for my camp. All right, boom. Let's jump in. We'll start with the high man, low man. And y'all might want to sit down for this one. Gary Frazier, G Money, the G-Men, Gay Rod, 156. Part of me just feels like I'm gonna wake up in a minute and realize, like, oh, that didn't happen. You know, that actually just didn't happen. Part of me feels like I'm gonna wake up and it's Sunday morning and I'm watching the Jags and Broncos again. Do me a favor and don't ever have me do that again. But I just don't understand how it's even possible that we're in the situation that we're in with that. But man, can you believe it? But Gary, 156 points. I think it's the second highest points of the year. Gary. Now his team went just 9-11. His whole team is part of my segment of the 9-11 level postal. But man, if I were Galt, the Patriots ruining me getting a win, Gary ruining me getting a win, I would just be nauseous. Absolutely sick to my stomach is what I would be. Anyway, I digress. What else is there to say? But let me talk to you. Come on. Evan, you are really bad. You are really, really, really bad. Evan got low pause. Yeah. Man, he is the best. Oh my gosh, Evan. Oh my goodness gracious. What a pathetic disgrace. What a pathetic performance. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Well, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Every single person in this league scored 100 this week, and I don't think you broke 90. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. How dare you? Man, what a disaster. Evan's team just falling apart at the helms. No Raider locker room on falling apart at the helms. Can you believe it? Jonathan Taylor. If Jonathan Taylor is there in the 19th round next year's draft, I won't take him. I'd rather take another quarterback, since apparently we can't get those anymore around here. Anyway, I digress. Moving forward. Wow, Evan, you are not that good. Do not forget that. Boom! Storylines. Cheese beat Calder. Oh! Wow, he's bad. Wow. Oh man, bragging that he can beat Cheese all season is the last straw to grab onto his grounds, and then he loses to him. Oh wow, he's bad, man. I digress. Calder's continual display of ineptitude is being showcased for the league. No Nathaniel Hackett on continuing to display his ineptitude. Skeet was able to Skeet didn't put up a ton of points. I think I scored more points than him. Skeet points out this week, but he was able to legally proclaim Evan as his son. By taking advantage of him this week, really put it to him. Call no Tom Brady on taking advantage of your children. Call no Biden on taking advantage of your children. Gary destroyed Galt. I am in shock. Galt over the last 2 weeks is doing everything he can to prevent himself from getting that third ring. He's just no Giselle Bunchkin on doing whatever they can to take rings from people. I digress. Galt, I think he's 5-3 now. Realistically, should be 7-1. The Patriots should have beat me, and 152 point beats every single other person this week by 20 plus. And of all people to lose to Gary, like, how bad can you be? But anyway, I digress. Moving forward. Nonetheless, the past is gone. Time moves on. Scoggins kept pace in the no division with his win. I think put him in second place in the no division. I have no intentions of giving up. We'll dumb it down a little bit. I have no intention of giving up my first place reign, but you can have second, and that'll be the end of that. Like I said, Scoggins, again, he's getting a ton of his production from just a handful of people. So the success you would imagine would cease fire eventually. It's not unwarranted success. Call no Kim Kardashian on having unwarranted success, but it's definitely success that it might be unsustainable. Deontay Foreman, 30. AJ Brown, 30. Christian McCaffrey, 30. I think it was 97 points of his 123 came from those three people. If I was Alex, I'd lose my mind. You have no clue how upset I would be. Anyway, moving forward, time marches on. And I beat Clay. Savvy and savage and demonic and devious QB management is what I accredit this win to. I literally spent $30 on PJ Walker. $30 just to prevent Clay from getting him. And then he grabs Tannehill, who's not good, by the way. And then Tannehill doesn't play. So I got to go grab Malik Willis, who's also not good. And guess who I dropped to do that? PJ Walker, whom Clay picks up anyway. So I just blew my fab, calling on my sister on blowing her budget and her money. But nonetheless, bygones. Clay sat PJ Walker. and started Tyler Boyd. I think he wanted to go for the triple crown of cordial with Jamar Chase getting hurt, which I don't blame him. I don't blame the cordialness. And he actually could have scored, a couple more, but, the Bengals are just not that good. But, he sat P.J. Walker, and I think he got 16.7. And going into Monday night, Clay was down, 16.1. He would have beat me by 0.5. I don't think y'all understand how upset I would have been. I appreciate Clay not playing him because, like I said, I would have been in a very, very unhappy camper had that happen. But here we are. The trash bag stands above them all at 6-2. I think I have the third most points in the league behind Galt Nasty and Skeet Breezy. But, man, when you guys address me moving forward, I'd like to be addressed as Sir Trash Bag, Mr. Trash Can, His Highness Waste Management. Here we go. Boom. Last week's scores went into that. Let's dive into next week. The trash bag and Team Cheese. I got to play Team Cheese again. Derrick Henry should be playing, so I'll probably lose. 6-2, 3-5. If I lose to Cheese, this will be the first time ever I've lost to him more than once in a season. He's beat me like once or twice ever, but this will be definitely the first time he's beat me twice. So mega grounds are on the line here. Galt and Zach, irrelevant Zach, sorry, Scoggins. They're playing one another 6-3 and 5-3, and by the looks of it, record-wise, that will be the match of the week. Projected score is a little bit different. They're a little bit low and skewed right now because caught a 2020 election on being skewed. No one has a lineup set. Gary and Evan, neither that great. And then finally, Clay and Alex. Alex, it's getting to the point now. It's must win. It's must win. You've got a good team, and you have one player. I know that you have one good player, at least two actually. You have two good players, most certainly. But it's kind of getting to that time where it's like, hey, it's do or die. It's time. No more messing around. You got to win. You're at 2-6. Hey, once you get that 7th loss in fantasy, get comfortable during the playoffs, because that's where I'm gonna be. You can watch me. You can't lose again. You can't. Luckily, you don't play me again, so that's not a for sure loss in your looming schedule. I digress. Moving forward, I'm going to drop the tiers of people this week. The tiers of talent is what I'll call them. And this should ruffle a few feathers, so y'all might want to sit down. Tier 1. The trash bag. Tier 1 is the trash bag and Clay. Both are 6-2. Both have decent points. Both sit atop their division. Nothing to argue about. Tier 2. It's the one that's full. Scoggins, Skeet, Galt, and Evan. Evan, he dangled between Tier 2 and Tier 3, but I couldn't put him in Tier 3 because he has a better record than Tier 3. Tier 3 stands all by him lonesome. Cheese Nasty, the Cheddar Man. And this tier, there's nothing more to say. Just by himself. Tier Calder. It's not Tier 4, it's not Tier 5, it's just Tier Calder. It's just Tier not great. Sitting there all by his lonesome, like Brittany Griner in a jail cell, all by her lonesome. Tier 5, Alex and Gary. Alex. I expect this from Gary. But Alex, the trash bag holds himself to a higher standard. You are not supporting said standard. It's nauseating, really nauseating. Now, granted, you traded Darrell Henderson for Michael Pittman. I said you got Finesse to begin with. Clearly, you didn't. Clearly, it was just a waste of time because neither are any good at football. The pathetic team. Almost. 9/11 level postal. Zach's team, Gary's team. That's the main takeaway. But we had several 30-piece nuggets, the Henrys of the world, the Kamaras of the world, the AJ Browns of the world, the Christian McCaffreys of the world. 30 in a standard league. Are you kidding me? Anyway, pathetic team performances. My favorite time of the day. The Raiders. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. They just allowed to parade around the gridiron again and it's laughable. It's getting ridiculous. I don't understand why even continue to have to keep having these conversations. The rate 24-0. They showed no signs of life. It was just incredibly, incredibly hard to watch. Connor Henry McMaster on not showing any signs of life. It's just horrible. Absolutely embarrassing. I did nail the under for Josh Jacobs. I'll hit that later. Pause. And about against that defense, and I appreciate Josh Jacobs' ineptitude flourishing against me this week. Boom. The Steelers. How bad can you be? The Eagles might actually win the Super Bowl. I get it, but it's just pathetic. Watching y'all try to perform, it's just embarrassing. It's incredibly, incredibly hard to watch. I've seen toddlers cover their nose better when they're sneezing better than y'all covered AJ Brown. It was just incredibly, incredibly hard to watch. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself, quite frankly. Anyway, I digress. It's just pathetic to say the least. But yeah, moving forward, I digress. The Rams. CMC looked like what Taysom Hill wishes he was. He was everything that you could need in a number 2 overall pick. And I traded him because that's hilarious. That's what I do. That's what the trash bag does. The trash bag holds himself to a higher standard, and I will not allow someone to just parade around my team and not do well. And he didn't do well 1 week, so I traded him. That's it. I hold no regrets. But now apparently he's QB1, wide receiver 1, running back 1. Everything Taysom Hill wishes he was, he is. The Texans, 17-10 to the hapless Titans. You let Derrick Henry run up and down the field like he had lit his rear end on fire. It was embarrassing. It was hard to watch. He had 202 tutties to the hapless Titans. The Malik Willis, the 1.4 fantasy point Malik Willis. And he's handing the ball off. Stack the box. Make him not stack the box. I'm tired of these coaches. I just don't understand how bad you can possibly be. To stack the boxes, you can't be any worse than them unless you're the Jags. How do you lose to Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson out here doing yoga on a plane, just doing the plyometrics on a plane. The dude is so high key corny. Oh my gosh. And then y'all just allow him to just run up and down the field 21-17. How? I'm done. I'm out. Just embarrassing. Anyway, I digress. The prop bets last week, I said Kirk under 60 yards, nailed. Josh Jacobs under 100 yards, nailed. Deontay Johnson under 60 yards against Darius Slay, nailed. I put money in my pocket. Listen to the trash bag. Help yourself. Help your wallet. Help your 401k. Invest in the trash bag. This week, Miles Sanders over 69 rushing yards. Against the Texans, the same Texans that just let Derrick Henry run for 200. This is a game where the Eagles are going to get off quick, lethal pause, and then they're probably just going to run the ball here and there. And against that defense, I just don't see how Miles Sanders doesn't get 69. Davis Mills, under 235 yards. There's no way he gets 235 passing yards. There's no way. There's no way. Against that Eagles defense, they're gonna be on him like white on rice. It's gonna be really hard to watch. I probably won't watch it. And finally, Travis Etienne, over 101 passing and rushing yards. Over. This guy is clearly the next best player in the NFL, and of course, Calder, of all people, has him. So Calder, and it's gonna be stuck on his team like Gorilla Glue. But anyway, I digress. But nonetheless, they're playing Las Vegas. I mean, they just let Kamara have 30 points. What do you want me to say? So that, moving forward, that should be the expectation for the prop bets this week. But I think that's it. Whenever prop bets, whenever the tiers, the storylines, the high man, low man, postal. That's all I got. That's it. We have some 6 and 2s in our league. We have a 5 and 3. We've got a 4 and 4, a couple 3 and 5s, and some 2 and 6s. That's it. No, and we have a 1 and 7. Good gosh, Gary's bad. Okay. Anyway, I digress. Y'all know what it is. It's the trash bag. Ready to rock and roll this week. Week number 9 coming in hot. Let's make it happen. Let's get some trades this week. Because you know what I say, if you don't get dinner, you're going to become dinner. Get some trades going. Finesse or get finessed. I'm outie.